In Derry, Maine, a man sees his boyfriend murdered by Pennywise after homophobic teenagers assault them and throw him off a bridge. Investigating, Mike Hanlon discovers it has returned and calls his childhood friends, Bill Denbrough, Ben Hanscom, Beverly Marsh, Richie Tozier, Eddie Kasprak, and Stanley Uris, back to Derry to honor the promise they made 27 years ago to kill it if it came back. While the others travel to Derry with hazy memories, Stan commits suicide after being contacted. The losers meet for dinner, and Mike refreshes their memories before they are tormented by hallucinations and learn of Stan's suicide. Richie and Eddie decide to leave until Beverly reveals that she has had psychic visions of their deaths should they fail to fulfill their promise. Meanwhile, Henry Bowers, who was arrested for the murder of his father, escapes from a mental institution with help from it, and a little girl is killed by Pennywise at a baseball game. Mike shows Bill via a drug-induced vision that the Native American ritual of Chud can stop it for good. Going to their old clubhouse and finding Stan's shower cap, Mike explains that the ritual requires items from their past to be sacrificed and instructs the others to split up and search for their artifacts. Beverly goes to her old home, now inhabited by an elderly woman, and finds Ben's love letter, still believing Bill wrote it, fleeing when the elderly woman turns out to be it. Ben recalls a childhood encounter with Pennywise at school and realizes his artifact is the yearbook page Beverly signed, which he kept in his wallet. Richie and Eddie retrieve their artifacts, a token from an arcade and an inhaler. Pennywise confronts Richie and taunts him about his sexuality before menacing Eddie, but when Eddie stands up to it, the creature shrinks and flees. Bill finds his childhood bicycle and recovers the paper boat from the storm drain where Georgie was killed. He meets a boy named Dean, who says he hears voices from the drain. Later, Bill receives a message from it, who is going after Dean. Bill runs off to save Dean, only to watch helplessly as Pennywise kills the boy. Henry attempts to murder Eddie at the Losers Hotel, and then Mike at the library, but Richie kills him. The losers rejoin Bill, talking him out of facing it alone. After saving Beverly from it, the group descends into a cavern beneath the sewers and perform the ritual in the remains of the meteor that brought it to Earth. The ritual traps the deadlights in a sealing jar, but it emerges from the jar as a giant red balloon, which bursts, revealing it in two combined forms, Pennywise and a spider. Pennywise pressures Mike into revealing that it killed the natives originally performing the ritual, a fact Mike had hidden. Mike states that the Native Americans didn't succeed because they did not believe, but the losers accuse Mike of lying to them. It attacks the losers and places Bill, Ben, and Beverly in nightmarish hallucinations, which they escape once Bill lets go of his guilt over Georgie's death, and Beverly realizes Ben wrote the love letter. Mike stands up to Pennywise, only to almost get eaten, but Richie manages to distract it, getting caught in its deadlights. Eddie saves him, but is fatally impaled. He explains how he made it feel small earlier. The losers mock Pennywise, showing that they are not scared anymore, and calling Pennywise various names to make it weaker and small, causing Pennywise to shrink. Mike rips out its heart. He and the losers crush it, finally killing it. Eddie dies from his injuries, and the losers are forced to leave him when its cavern implodes, destroying the house. The remaining losers return to their old swimming area and wash off from their confrontation with it, and join hands to comfort Richie as he mourns for Eddie. After the losers part ways, Ben and Beverly get married. Richie returns to the Kissing Bridge where he had once carved his and Eddie's initials. Mike decides to move out of Derry and start a new life, and Bill begins writing his new story before receiving a call from Mike as he leaves Derry, learning that Stan sent them all posthumous letters. The letters reveal Stan was too scared to face it, and his suicide was a sacrifice to give his friends a chance against it. He asks the remaining losers to live life to the fullest potential.